All right, guys, how's it going? So I have reviewed today's Spanish football dailies for you. I have my notes here. I'm going to go over a few things that I thought you might be interested in. I can tell you right now, if you don't have much time, that there is nothing directly relating to Trent Alexander-Arnold in the press today. We are going to touch on the Real Madrid right-back situation, though, which is obviously related. There's some stuff regarding that. Somebody left a comment yesterday saying, wow, you're really milking the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. I don't pick and choose the topics, of discussion regarding what we talk about on here. Like these are things that are ongoing in the media on a daily basis. And I can assure you that the people watching my Spanish newspaper reviews in the morning enjoy them. And they want to know what is and isn't in the papers regarding Trent. And in fairness to myself, at the beginning of every video, I appreciate some people don't have time. So I tell you at the start, look, there is something or there isn't or whatever. I'll let you into a little secret. Somebody put me onto a video online yesterday on a fan account, if you can call it that. And the title of the video was about Trent Alexander-Arnold, and there was nothing about Trent until the very end of the video. And obviously that's to maximize, keeping people on the video. So more adverts are displayed. I try to tell people straight away at the beginning whether you need to watch the video or not. All right. So yeah, I'm sick of hearing about Trent too. Trust me. But unfortunately, it's unavoidable at the moment. All right. So there's nothing in the video specifically related to Trent, but we will be talking to do with Real Madrid's right-back crisis. So there were big claims yesterday from a genuine club insider regarding Trent, but you'd have to watch yesterday's video for that to save me going over it again. I do have some thoughts about Trent, which I might address in a separate video today, as long as I'm allowed to do that, all right? One thing I will say is that until I see Trent unveiled anywhere else as a Liverpool player, and maybe I'm being naive, I don't know. I can't know in football things can collapse. There's been some great statements over the years. Brendan Rodgers, I can categorically tell you, we will not be signing Mario Balotelli, and the next day we signed Mario Balotelli. The boy handshake with Houllier at Melwood on the back of the Daily Mirror, deal done kind of thing. It still didn't go through. Nabil Fekir, all the club PR stuff, that it still didn't happen. So for me, from my experience, I always think until I see it myself with my own eyes, anything can happen. So yes, there are some people I trust making various claims, but even they say, look, who fucking knows? What's going to happen. So I just don't know. Maybe I'm just clinging on to a bit of hope that he bottles it, but everything points that he's going there. So we'll see, right? To be honest, guys, I really couldn't give a fuck where he goes, to be honest with you. Anyway, so Marca, let's start with Marca today. Deco, he's the Barcelona sporting director, the man responsible for transfers. And he's commented on Barcelona's financial limitations. And he's acknowledged that the club's financial situation limits their activity in this transfer market, barring injuries. And he's been clear about prioritising essential operations. Quote, Rashford, we are waiting for fair play. There is nothing concrete. The priority is the renewals that we have in progress. In addition, the manager has not asked us for anything. Why am I telling you this? Well, first of all, Barcelona obviously have been linked with Luis Diaz heavily in the summer. It crops up, occasionally from time to time, and I think we're going to see more of it. So I'm watching for chat to do with that. Now, Deco's gone on record many times saying about interest in Luis Diaz, but at Barcelona they were split. A bit like Real Madrid is apparently split over Trent. There's people at the club think he's a good offensive player, but not the best defensive. And for whatever reasons at Barcelona, they seem split on Luis Diaz. So we're touching on this to do with their possible market activity, because that could obviously affect Luis Diaz at some point. So Barcelona have sorted out their finances and the 1-1 rule in Spain. But they've still got this fair play situation where if they want to take Rashford in, they've got to get someone out first, if that makes sense. Like one out, one in. And that would apply for Luis Diaz as well. So I'm touching on that for you just to give you what Deco is saying there. And he is their sporting director. He would be the one that would try and sign Luis Diaz. And, Luis Diaz has reportedly rejected Liverpool. That's been mentioned a couple of times now, once in December, once in January, and apparently feels undervalued by Liverpool's offer. He feels it doesn't represent his worth or contribution to the team. So I keep an eye on what Deco is saying and Barcelona's situation, just to see if anything comes up with Luis Diaz, all right? So, staying with Marca, Real Madrid host Red Bull Salzburg in the Champions League this evening. This is an interesting one for us, I think, to keep an eye on us, as they don't have a senior right-back available for selection. Now, Lucas Vazquez has been playing there, right? And he's been getting all sorts of stick for it. I mean, they like him, as an individual and that, but he's not a right-back. But he's suspended. So Federico Valverde is, who is another right-sided winger like Vazquez, he'll be deployed at right-back. Excuse me, so they haven't got a right-back for this game. And Marca write, Ancelotti's problem shifts to the rearguard, where the suspension of Lucas Vazquez leaves the Italian without right-backs. The Galician is one, but converted from the position of winger or inside midfielder. Thus, everything points to the fact that with the return of Tchouaméni, Fede Valverde will have to lend a hand for the number 2, an option already explored by the Madrid coach occasionally, with good results. When we go on to AS, we'll come back to that situation, because they mentioned something else. And obviously the right-back situation at Real Madrid is of interest to us, right? There's another bit, Ancelotti to discuss future at the season's end. Marca report that he will sit down with Real Madrid at the end of the season, as usual, to discuss their relationship. There is no other like him, writes Jose Felix Diaz. That's the journalist that I keep an eye on specifically for Real Madrid knowledge, to do with Trent and stuff like that. And he's saying there's no other like him. They're funny, the Madrid media, because one minute they're saying he's not good enough, and now there's no other like him. Fickle as fuck. But I don't think the manager situation at Real Madrid would affect Trent or anything like that. But the reason I'm interested in that is because I think Xabi Alonso is going to go there at some point. Staying with Jose Felix Diaz, that journalist, he touches on the Alphonso Davies situation, or you might want to call it snub, and writes, the line seems to have been drawn, and the truth is that there was interest in the fullback from Real Madrid, but the agent's line of action has never been light. The fact is that the Canadian will continue to be a buy-in player. So this is important, because Alphonso Davies' situation has run parallel with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm not going to go into it in depth again, but basically 2 players out of contract. Real Madrid suggested that they, sit tight, do an Mbappe, don't renew with your clubs, and we'll come and get you, kind of thing, if there's an opening for you to join our amazing club. But I don't think Real Madrid were that bothered about Davies. It felt like they were just trying to pick one up on a free in the summer, to add to the squad. But, they're still being snubbed by the looks of things, And it's interesting that this Diaz journalist is saying, well, we never liked his agent anyway. Interestingly, Diaz makes no reference to Trent Alexander-Arnold, a name he often mentions when discussing Davies, because when he mentions Davies, he mentions Arnold, and when he does it the other way around, he mentions Davies. Does that make sense? Because their situations are very similar. But Real Madrid have really wanted Trent, it would appear, from the reporting. And Davies, on the other hand, I just think was just someone that they might have been interested in adding to the squad. I just want to rephrase something there, because I think I just said that Real Madrid have always wanted Trent. I'm not sure that's the case. I want to retract that, because the story we were fed from Madrid was that they were split on him. We like him. He's good offensively, but maybe not a great defender. They liked Pedro Porro, for example, but he'd cost 70 million upwards. They like Trent because he's free. If Trent was under contract for a couple of years, I don't think they'd touch him in a million fucking years, to be honest with you. I really don't. So because we had those claims made yesterday about Trent, which came from a really someone you could trust your life with. And if you're new to my channel or you're not on the members website, whatever, maybe you're just like, yeah, okay, trust me, fam. But there's people on here will tell you that the source on the members website that's been with us about 20 years is the best we've got. They never get anything wrong. You know what I mean? So when they speak, we pay attention. And, they didn't categorically state this is happening or this won't happen. They gave their opinion on what is being claimed internally at Liverpool Football Club, and it's interesting. But I did a video on it yesterday, okay? Marca, they run a little article, if you like. Salah leads Liverpool to victory on Liverpool's win last night. Marca runs with the headline, Salah leads Liverpool to victory for the unbeaten and leaders. Liverpool are the best in Europe, basically, is what Marca are writing today, which must absolutely kill them to say that. Now, moving on to AS. Now, we're going to go back to the right-back situation. They highlight the ongoing issues in that position at Real Madrid and focusing on the limitations facing tonight's Champions League match against Red Bull Salzburg. Now, we're going to mention this kid Lorenzo Aguado in here, right? He's the right-back, the young right-back that played in the Cup recently. Do you remember the Copa del Rey? And they were raving about him big time. So I've been wondering, like, why is he not in contention this evening? Why with Vasquez suspended? So, and I educated myself from reading this, okay? In the cup-winning debut against Deportiva Minera, Ancelotti pulled Lorenzo, that's Aguado, the fullback of Castilla, the reserves, from the starting 11. The boy more than fulfilled and justifies his presence in subsequent call-ups, and it would not be completely out of the question if he played this match against Red Bull at the beginning, if possible at the regulatory level, but it is not. Lorenzo could not be registered in the Champions League B list by Madrid because in that list could only be included those born on or after January 1st, 2003, and he was from 2002, he's 22 years of age. And in the A list there are already two right-backs, Lucas Vasquez and the injured Carvajal. When the league phase is over and the qualifiers are played, the clubs will be able to update their lists, and then Madrid will retire Carvajal, excluding, who will not play this season again, and include Lorenzo. And Lorenzo Aguado is, he's a very, very good right-back youngster. They've been banging on about him a lot recently, which again was, I don't know, it's just weird. They seem to focus a lot about him in the signing Trent. Well, they think they're signing Trent. Let me rephrase that. Because you know what people are like, they'll come back to me in months' time going, this video aged well, didn't it, chubs? Do you know what I mean? AS, Liverpool's convincing win. They briefly touch on Liverpool's convincing win in the Champions League last night, but offer no other content of interest for you today, really. I always start with Marca, and then I go on to AS, and that tends to cover a lot of things that are in Marca, so there's no point in duplicating it. Someone did say to me recently, it's not pronounced AS. I know how to pronounce AS on the, what the paper's called in Spanish, but it sounds like ASS in Spanish. And believe it or not, YouTube often limits my videos if I frequently use that word. Do you know what I mean? Because they think that it's a certain content in the video, so I call it AS, all right? I hate having to explain myself all the time. Right, we're going on to sport now. Now, Sport is the pro Barcelona newspaper, the other two Real Madrid. Like you open Marca, it's Real Madrid, then Barcelona, or maybe Atletico, and then the others, right? This one's the other way around. So this always starts with Barca. And it says, Sport is dominated by Barcelona's incredible comeback against Benfica in the Champions League last night. The hosts, right, Benfica, were winning 4-2 with 12 minutes to go, but Barca fought back to secure a dramatic 5-4 victory. I wish I'd watched that. As you can imagine, there's nothing else of importance to Barcelona fans today in sport. What I thought was a funny observation today was, despite this historic victory for Barcelona, Marca's reaction was indifferent. It was almost like, meh, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, whatever. Talking of meh, my YouTube channel, Meh United TV, at MEH United TV, I haven't updated it for a while because it's a January transfer window and the focus is on Liverpool. All right, just so you know. If you haven't subscribed yet, youtube.com/@MEH United TV. Go and have a look, subscribe. But the minute the transfer window shuts, we'll be back on with that because we're having a good time on there and it's really growing, that channel. And that is for shits and giggles. Yeah, I mean, we're going to clickbait the fuck out of the Manx on there and all that, you know what I'm saying? And that is about growing a channel. This one, not so. That one, yes. Right. Okay, now again, Sport talk about Deco commenting on possible reinforcements this transfer window, and there's another quote here: in the final days of the market, if the team can be reinforced, we will try, but today there is nothing concrete. However, there is nothing, this is my words now, however, there is absolutely nothing to suggest that Luis Diaz is being considered at the moment by Barcelona. And I've put here, this is something we might see more of as we approach the summer, particularly if Diaz fails to reach an agreement on a new contract with Liverpool before then, okay? Sport touched on Liverpool's win in the Champions League last night, stating, few teams can cope with the red team this season, not even in the Premier League where they dominate with an iron fist. I like that, man. I do like it when other leagues that, you know, big us up, because the La Liga tries to see itself as the main competitor to the Premier League, right? And the Premier League, obviously, you know, we're better than you, you're better, but they're having to acknowledge Liverpool, and I like that, so fair dues. So that's it, really. Nothing regarding Trent. Keep an eye on Real's result tonight to see how Valverde does it right back, and we'll readdress things, all being well, health permitting, tomorrow morning. All right, so what we're on now, it's approaching noon here. I'll be doing a live stream on here this afternoon at 1 o'clock UK time and 7 o'clock UK time this evening if you'd like to come along. I'm sure we'll see some other shite during the day come up. We'll address it as we go along throughout the day. All right, guys, I hope you appreciate my effort. Someone said the other day, one of my comments, reading news from the Spanish papers is lazy. I am a lazy fucker. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's because I ain't got time to do anything else. I'm fucking knackered when I finish. But I can assure you, I put a lot of effort into these videos for my friends and viewers on here. It does take a long time to go through the papers, and there's a lot. There's a lot of effort goes into it. Is what I'm trying to say, right? I don't want fucking a round of applause or anything, but it bothers me when people say things like that. I find it mildly insulting because it does take a lot of time. But I find it rewarding. I enjoy it. I'm learning a lot, to be honest with you. I've probably reviewed the Spanish papers now for, I actually don't know, since it started in the summer maybe. And when the transfer window closes and whether Trent leaves or stays or whatever, I'll continue to do so. I mean, I am genuinely enjoying it. And it gets me out. I go to the cafe in the morning. I get, a few cups of coffee, maybe a bit of breakfast. I get to meet people, talk about football. I'm improving my Spanish. And I'm learning, and I think the more I do this, the more knowledge I have. Yes, I've been here 26, 27 years, now I'm in my 27th year, but I'm always learning. And the good thing is that if something comes up with a Spanish connection somewhere, one of you guys come to me, don't know, because he's fucking watching everything. That's why I do it, guys, all right? So if you do appreciate the video, if you're one of those people that do appreciate the vids, please do thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment if you've got anything in this, if there's anything in this that you have an opinion about. Like me, I'm sure you're sick to the back teeth of hearing about Trent and all the different conspiracies and reports and claims and whatnot. But for the time being, he remains a Liverpool player. And until I see him appear anywhere else, that's the status as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, drop me a comment. If you want to buy me a coffee, please hit the super thanks button. It's the love heart under the video, and if you do that, I'll tell everyone in tomorrow morning's briefing how much of a fucking hero you are. All right, guys, nice one. Keep the faith. Speak real soon.